Ah! Check that out. I still had the lid on my camera. I decided to record. I'm leaving. One of the guys is yelling at me. The lid's still on. If you hadn't told me that, I wouldn't have known. I would have been riding around talking with the freaking lid on. That would have been good for a laugh as well, mind you. Okay. Okay. Bye-bye. Yeah, it's kind of neat. I'm just, you know, most of the bikers that live around here, we all do the same road. So I'm riding along the road, and I see a bunch of big motorbikes stopped on the side of the road. So I pull over, and it's a bunch of my friends, a bunch of my good friends. And I'm sure you've already seen the video, because I'm probably uploading them in order. They're fairly interesting. But just in case you clicked on this one at random. Yeah, I pull over and I say to them, why are you stopped here? It's not a good place to take a break. Well, first I say, is everyone alright? Because the first thing I think is maybe someone crashed, because it's a weird corner to stop on. And they say, yeah, look at that, that's a walking bridge over there. It's like walking, it's a suspension bridge all the way across the river. That's pretty cool. So yeah, I say, are you guys all alright? And they say they're all okay. So I think it's not an accident. Maybe they're just taking a rest. So I said that too. I said, you're just taking a rest? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, okay. And then I say, it's an odd place to take a rest. And then they're like, yeah, we wouldn't have picked this spot either normally. And what they meant by that was that they crashed and they were forced to take a rest there. So like, get on. That guy was totally on the left-hand side. So yeah, it was a pretty crazy crash. They had to, the guy just, there was a straightaway and then a left-hand turn, and he entered the corner. He accelerated too hard towards the corner, then he had to brake too hard to slow down for it, and his front tail locked up, and the bike just dropped on its side. I guess he low-sided, and slid into the corner sideways and smashed into the wall, and he broke his front fork, one of his front shocks. It was like snapped in half. But for most of you, that's just a recap of what you just saw, so I apologize for that. Speaking of apologizing, you ever noticed how Canadians are fairly polite and Americans are rude? I think I talked about that. I probably talked about that in another video recently, but my new roommate, he's from America, and he's like, he doesn't say thank you, he doesn't say, you know, please, he just like, he goes into a restaurant or he goes to a store and he buys something from the woman, and then, you know, he'll just take it and walk away, you know? I'm like, what the hell? I'd say please and thank you at 7-Eleven, you know? Can I have a bag, please? And then they give me the bag and they give me my stuff. And then I say thank you, you know? Like, geez, it's not that much harder. Always say please, always say thank you, always nod your head. It's like a fucking tree bench just hanging out on the road. What's with that? I turn around to go take it to clear it off the road, but it's not safe to even turn around on this road, considering how narrow it is. And this is a little rest area. There's a few bikes there, scooters, and there's a class, and the guy's filming. Cyclists up ahead. I said before, I got a lot of respect for those guys. Especially I couldn't ride a bicycle on this road for more than like 5 minutes without having a heart attack. Sad as that is. I'm not a fat guy, I'm actually a skinny guy, but I don't know, my cardiovascular is beyond suckage. When I was younger, I could go to the bar and I could dance. Like if you've seen my dancing video, then you'll see I dance pretty, you know, hardcore for about 3 or 4 minutes on that video. But when I was young, I would go to the bar and I would dance like just non-stop for hours on end, like just And equally as hardcore as that video that I have of myself dancing, I would just be like full on like rave dancing for hours. And now I can do it for about 5 minutes before I have to like take a break. Well, that's not true either, because I'm not you know, when I made that video I didn't warm up. You know, like normally when you don't just go to a bar and for the very first song just go all out, go hardcore. You gotta dance to a couple like slower hip hop songs or some R&B or something just kind of, I don't know, just to warm up. You know what I mean? You can't just start dancing without warming up. Oh, you'll just crash. I think the whole purpose of even warming up is get the oxygen moving, getting the blood moving before you start to exert yourself, so that way the muscles are already getting oxygen. If you just exert yourself without warming up, then your blood's moving slowly, but you're using a lot of force, so your muscles will get oxygen deprived, and then you just kind of crash. That's my guess from what little I know about exercise. And I'm stuck behind a bus. In Canada, the buses have their exhaust pipes on the roof, and here they have them pointing straight back. So you're lucky enough if you get stuck behind a bus in the city, you just got constant pollution blowing in your face. I wonder what bus drivers think when they get bikes flying by them doing triple their speed. I know if I was in a bus, I'd be pretty jealous. Okay, I'm going to approach this corner slowly. One thing, it's got a big metal plate on the ground. And for another thing, it had a blue truck blocking the left-hand side. So if a car had come around, they'd have to swerve into the oncoming lane to miss the blue truck. And there I would be. See all the stray dogs on the side just then? There was a stray with a broken leg, and it was like standing beside another stray. Actually, the other stray was lying down in kind of a weird way. I'm gonna go back because the stray that was standing up was looking at the other stray, and the other stray was laying down. And if it were caught in a trap of some sort, that might force it to lay down like that. So I'm just gonna go back to make sure it's not got its leg caught in like a fox trap or something. Kind of odd that it didn't stand up when my bike went by. Okay, like this, there's a little puppy jumping out of the. Okay, here's the two dogs that are lying down, and yeah, they're both okay. And there's the same bus I just passed, and now I gotta make a U-turn and pass it again. This sucks. That's what I get for checking on dogs. Okay, there's a mirror up ahead, so it allows me to see around the blind corner to see that no one's coming. It's a concave mirror. Concave, right? Not convex. I was like Hitchhiker's Guide in the Galaxy. You need a bathtub, a convex bathtub. And the other guy says, what kind of a bathtub isn't convex? Something like that. Kind of neat. I was just kind of aware just now that I just kind of went from like talking mode to riding mode there as I sped up, and it was kind of neat. I was somewhat, it's neat, a balloon. Weird. I was somewhat aware of the facial changes that I made when I did it. It was neat. Like while I'm chatting, my eyes are kind of like, they're open, but they're not like fully open, and then well, they're just like normally open, like just the way your eyes are normally are when you're walking down the street. And I got kind of a half smile on my face, so I'm just chatting to the camera. And then as soon as I accelerated, my eyes widened past the point of normality, like just, you know, like extra wide, and the smile goes off my face. My face becomes all serious, and my eyes become big. And that's like, I kind of felt my face go from like talking mode to riding mode. Gotta go to the bathroom. Aw, puppy. Hi, puppy. Driveways here, another biking club. Got a lot of cyclists out today. I gotta go to the bathroom. That's a good place to be backing up. My rear tire just slid out again. Bit of sand on the side of the road when we were on that car. where it goes? No, I'm riding on it because I have to go to the bathroom. I'm looking for a spot. Being a man, I can do that. And being in Taiwan, it makes it all the easier. Because I see other people doing it fairly regularly. Okay, here's a rope hanging down to block people off from entering here. And I think I'm going to adhere to that rope and not enter. I'll just go here. Should I make a more death P-cam video? No, I don't think so. You're just going to have to imagine.